live from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. And we are ready for high school varsity baseball action as the 3-8 Riverdale Raiders compete against the visiting 1-10 South Fort Myers Wolfpack. Hello everyone, and thank you for listening in to tonight's presentation of high school baseball on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. I'm Nick Rush giving you the call of this evening's action as we prepare for the first pitch of this ball game. That first pitch is going to be brought to you by Raiders starter number 4, Hunter Tinsley. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to take a look at your South Fort Myers batting order as we are moments away from beginning tonight's ball game and the top of the first. On the top of the order for South Fort Myers, coached by Nathan Ojibwe, and his first season as the head coach for South Fort Myers, batting first, it's right fielder number 12, Alberto Oliveras. And the second spot, it's number 3, the shortstop, Jay Hughes. Third, it's Chase Ross, wearing number 25 and playing the designated hitter. Fourth, it's the first baseman, number 4, Jacob Balling. And the 5 spot, number 7, Patrick Doyle, who's also playing center field.
Leading off top of the first inning for the South Fort Myers Wolfpack, right fielder number 12, Alberto Oliveras.
John Morrell, the third baseman, is batting 6. 7th, it's Miguel Sanchez, number 13. 8th is Kenny DeVincente, number 10. And in the number 9 spot, it's number 32, Trent Gomez. Here's your opening pitch, and we are ready to go. Live from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School once again. Opening pitch from Tinsley. It's fouled off down third base, and this is going to be a blooper out in the left field, and that's a leadoff hit for Alberto Oliveras.
Batting next for the Wolfpack, shortstop number 3, Jay Hughes.
Jay Hughes is going to be following up next here. He's a lefty in the batter's box now with a man on first and none out. Just underway at the top of inning number 1 for some varsity baseball action at the high school level. This pitch misses low from Tinsley on the mound, who is a right-handed hurler. 1-0 is your count. Fans still filing into their seats here at Pringle Field. Nice turnout on hand for both the Raiders home fan section down the first base line next to the Raider dugouts, and a very nice turnout for the visiting South Fort Myers section as well down third base, just off to the right side of the dugouts for the Wolfpack. Now 2-0 with a pitch wide. This one outside, throwing the second for the rundown, and that is going to be bobbled, and that is a stolen base for Alberto Oliveras as he is able to steal onto third, and South Fort Myers early on in the ball game has a man in scoring position. "0-0" is your score just moments into the contest. This pitch sneaks in. 3-1 now is the count. Well, the 3-8 Riverdale Raiders hope to spark up a win streak as they face the 1-10 South Fort Myers Wolfpack. Tinsley with the stretch and deliver, and that pitch is up and away. And now 2 men on for South Fort Myers as Jay Hughes digs on the first.
Batting next for South Fort Myers, designated hitter number 25, Chase Ross.
So Chase Ross hoping to do some damage as the third man due up here at the top of the first, a designated hitter in the contest as well. He's another lefty standing in tall to the right hand of the batter's box. Tinsley with a rough start on the mound, throwing over the second, and they can't get the tag down. Standing over near second base, it was the shortstop for Riverdale, Daniel Kaler. The throw looks like it would have beat out Alberto Oliveras, the runner over on second, but he's able to get the hand down on the bag, and that throw was a little out of control from the catcher Tyler Prell. Here's another throw over the second. That bounces off of Oliveris. And just another incident there with Tyler Prell having to warm up that right arm as the catcher. And this throw down over the second. But that pitch just came in fast. And Prell, he's having some great timing, but right now, Oliveris is just fast on that second base bag. This is a bunt down the middle. Here's a throw over the first from number 14, Carson Palmquist, delivering the ball over to Brendan McNabb guarding first for the out. And that's your first out of this ball game. Still 0-0, but South Fort Myers now with 2 men in scoring position.
First baseman, number 4, Jacob Balling.
Jacob Balling will follow up. He really has the opportunity to get South Fort Myers off to a very nice start, and he'll take a fastball right down the middle. Riverdale is coming off of an 11-0 victory against the Lehigh Lightning, and a matchup that took place right here at Pringle Field last Tuesday night. Here's a swing and a miss from the righty Jacob Balling. And now Balling's going to call a timeout here as he looks down the third base line towards the third base coach for South Fort Myers. And now Tinsley's going to step away off the mound. Still here at the top of the first, South Fort Myers has yet to score as it's 0-0 on the board, but they have the opportunity to have a nice start. Hack and a miss, and that's out number 2. Swinging strikeout for Jacob Balling.
Now batting for South Fort Myers, left fielder number 7, Patrick Doyle.
Center fielder Patrick Doyle now up. So things getting a little bit better for Riverdale now. They have 2 runners in scoring position once again for South Fort Myers, but there's 2 outs for the Raiders, so they can get themselves out of this mini jam with a little bit of luck. Here's a missed swing from Doyle to start his at-bat. Tinsley up and away. Swing and a miss as that ball just plummeted right into the ground. South Fort Myers wearing their gray jerseys, black numbers on the back. Gray pants with a black stripe running down the sides. Off to the left side of the chest, they have a red script S, which stands for South, or South Fort Myers in their case, and they are wearing at the moment white batting helmets. As this pitch is going to be hacked down first, foul from Patrick Doyle with 2 on and 2 out. The wind and release, swing and a miss. That's your 3 outs, back-to-back punch-outs, swinging for both of them. And Hunter Tinsley gets the Raiders out of a jam. It's 0-0 with runners stranded on second and third. Bottom of the first coming up right after a word from our sponsors on the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network.
Fresh popcorn, sunflower seeds, peanuts, and an assortment of candy. Make sure to grab something. Daniel Kaler!
Daniel Kaler enters the batter's box. As we head to the home half of the first, it's 0-0 between the Riverdale Raiders and the South Fort Myers Wolfpack in varsity baseball action. Kaler takes a pitch up and away for ball 1. Well, it was a shaky top half of the first for the Riverdale Raiders fielding, as runners were able to get on to the second and third base bags, but no one was able to come home to score anyways, as this pitch is offsides. Now 2-0 is the count. It was due to a single by Alberto Oliveris and a walk for Jay Hughes, as this is tipped backwards out of play. Eventually, Chase Ross was able to have a ground out for South Fort Myers, and although that was a 3-4 putout, runners were able to extend the bases 2 and 3. Meanwhile, Tinsley was able to end the madness, striking out both Jacob Balling and Patrick Doyle, both swinging. Right now, it is a 3-ball, 1-strike count to Daniel Kaler. No outs at the bottom of the first. Here's the windup from your starting pitcher, and that's going to be high and dry. And Daniel Kaler starts off big with the walk here.
Always good to see it. Next batter for your Raiders, left fielder, number 9, Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy on the way up to the plate as the Raiders hope to get something going with Kaler over on first. And no men on here at the bottom of the first. 0-0 is the score. Thanks for tuning in to Riverdale Baseball on the Raiders Broadcast Network. Nick Rush giving you the call, live from Pringle Field at Riverdale High School. Here's a check over to Daniel Kaler on first, with Jacob Balling covering the bag. Kaler slides in safe the first time, and South Fort Myers starting pitcher Ryan Schatzman is going to check over one time just in case. Kaler, he's not a runner who typically takes too large of a leadoff, but when he takes off around the bases, he knows how to gun it. So of course you can see why pitchers would feel a little bit threatened by him. Hardy tips this one down left field foul. So he steps back in tall as a right-handed swinger. Schatzman, the starting pitcher, winds up and he's ready to deliver off the right hand. That's way high up. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in Southwest Florida. At first pitch, your weather in Fort Myers was 76 degrees with wind blowing from right to left at 4 miles per hour. There's a 60% chance of humidity, or 60% of humidity, and no chance of precipitation anyhow. This is a throw to first, and a close call for Matt Hardy there as he's called out. The pitcher Ryan Schatzman was able to pick up a bouncer down first, throw over to the first baseman Jacob Balling for the out, and that's out number 1 here at the home half of the first.
Number 7, Tyler Prell.
Tyler Prell is now coming up to the diamond. Well, no chance of precipitation, and your overall forecast is mostly clear. It's another beautiful evening for Raider baseball at Pringle Field. Here's a pitch down low for Prell. That starts him off 1-0. Kaler was able to slide in over the second base as a result of that grounder to Matt Hardy. Schatzman steps off the mound while he's glaring over at Kaler at second, and he bluffs a throw. Here is the windup, and that plummets into the dirt. Well, it really is a great deal for the Raiders that they were able to head into the bottom of the first scoreless. South Fort Myers, they were able to bring up 5 batters. Anyhow, no one came across the plate to score. Kick and fire, bouncer, over to the shortstop, throwing over the first for out number 2. Kaler gets over to third base, but Prell cannot convert with a grounder to the shortstop. Jay Hughes over at the position was able to do a great job, putting it right into the back of his glove and firing it home off the right hand.
Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley now at the plate. He's the starting pitcher of the ball game for the Raiders, so it's pitcher on pitcher. The interesting thing about Tinsley, though, is that he really knows how to drive a ball when he finds a pitch to his liking. Usually when you see the major leagues, especially in the National League where they don't have designated hitters, pitchers tend to bunt, ground out, strike out, you name it. But Tinsley, He plays as a pitcher, a third baseman, and he really does know how to drive the ball. In one of our previous games, it was against Palmetto Ridge to be exact, he drove one out the left field, an RBI hit, and that just plopped right down at the warning track, as this is going to be flied out to right field, and that bounces into foul territory. Now a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Tinsley, 2 outs at the bottom of the first. No score, but Daniel Kaler, the go-ahead runner for the Raiders, is 90 feet away, and it's caught out at center field. You have got to be kidding me. Patrick Doyle was able to slide and make a phenomenal catch off his right hand, and we are scoreless. Call a cop. Patrick Doyle just robbed Riverdale of that run with that sliding catch. We head to inning number 2 right after this. It's 0-0.
Third baseman number 21, John Morrow.
John Morrow will be the leadoff hitter for South Fort Myers as we now enter your top of inning number 2. It is 0-0 between the Riverdale Raiders and the South Fort Myers Wolfpack. Morrow takes a strike down the gut. Tinsley sets and fires, and that pitch is down in the dirt, 1-1. Thanks for joining in for some baseball here on a Thursday night. After tonight's ball game, the Raiders are going to be hitting the road for a 2-game road trip. Which we will tell you about after this next pitch. The 1-2, and that's inside. That rings up Morrow and Tinsley with 3 consecutive strikeouts on the mound. And that's the first out here at the top of the second.
Next batter for South Fort Myers, catcher number 13, Miguel Sanchez.
Miguel Sanchez now up next at the plate, the third baseman. Sanchez standing in tall with no crouch, takes a violent swing at that. Looks like he may have got that ball off the tip of the bat, and it's going to be called a foul.
Might have got a little bit of him on the ankle, too.
Yeah, it looks like it might have connected him on the ankle as well. Oh, 1 from Tinsley. He flies it, and that is going to be a bouncer out the right field, and that ball is going to be bobbled by the right fielder, Tyler Gertman. It went over the head of the diving Brendan McNabb at second base, barely got over the glove and out the shallow right field. Gertman scooped it up, tried to throw to first, but no can do.
Kenny
DiVincente will be your next batter, and there's going to be a courtesy runner on first for South Fort Myers. Look, number 20. Number 27, actually, as he comes out. And he's not on the roster, ladies and gentlemen.
He's not on there. We have no 27.
There is no 27. It's very interesting. In our previous home game, we had some lineup card mishaps with our contest against Lehigh, but number 27 is now not on the list. Throw over to first base, and number 27 will be back in time.
Steve.
Yeah, maybe his name could be Steve. If you listen back to our Lehigh game, you would certainly know that little reference. A pitcher came up for Lehigh. He was wearing number 15, but there was no 15 on the roster. We had a volunteer go down to the dugout to ask for us. She came back and said, his name is Steve. I don't know his last name, so we just played along with it. Number 10 at the plate now, DiVincente takes a pitch low, and it's now 2-0. The next one on the way, and that is high and dry. And you know what's interesting? I was talking to Joel after the game, Joel Velez, and from what he said, I don't know if this is true or not, he said number 15's name was Nick. and not Steve. Wow. What a night that was. A game that happened last Tuesday night. This pitch is up in the corners, and it's a ball.
Now batting for South Fort Myers.
And that's a walk for DiVincente. Trent Simmons. So it's going to be Soames, excuse me, not Simmons. Tinsley sets up and spins around to keep that runner over on second, back in his position. Next one on the way to Soames. That bounces down the dirt. Runner taking off the third, and that throw is going to get him out. And that third base manager, he is a little upset right now. And you can see why. It was number 27 trying to steal over the third, but no can do. That throw from catcher Tyler Prell, it was just days ahead. For out number 2 here, at the top of the second, 0-0 is still on the scoreboard. Tinsley with the delivery, and it's a fastball up the gut to Trent Soames. Soames, a very tall batter in the box. Slight crouch. His next one on the way is a missed swing, 1-2. Here at the top of the second, it's looking like a back and forth game of baseball. In our last game against Lehigh, it was looking like that up until the bottom half of the second, where the Raiders scored 8 runs across, and eventually that turned into a 5-inning, 11-0 victory. And here's a fastball down the middle, and that's a strikeout as a fastball blows by Trent Soames. We are scoreless going to the bottom of the second after this break. Colton Seitz is your first batter to come up here for the Raiders at the bottom of the second, as we are in a scoreless tie between Riverdale and South Fort Myers. Starting pitcher Ryan Schatzman throws the first pitch, and Colton Seitz drills a ground ball up the middle and out the center for a leadoff base hit.
Your next Raider batter, center fielder, number 1, Tyler Yeager.
And up next, it's the center fielder, Tyler Yeager, coming up. And that time, Colton Seitz, he just had a great opportunity there. Just bounced it right up the middle. Went over the glove of Ryan Schatzman and out to shallow center. Beautiful bunt laid down by Tyler Yeager down third. Scooped up by the pitcher Schatzman, and delivery over to first is in time. Yeager is beat out, but Seitz extends his way over the second.
Your next Raider batter, right fielder, number 18, Tyler Gertman.
Tyler Gertman now in the box. He's in his second game with the varsity team this season. Made his debut just last Tuesday night against Lehigh. And this pitch will be a strike 1. Gertman had one heck of a night. He got involved on the scoreboard, put some RBIs up, scored in a run himself. And overall, I can't complain with his great style either. This is out the center field, and actually that was a floater over to the shortstop, who easily tracks it down.
Now batting for your Raiders, first baseman, number 14, Carson Palmquist.
Carson Palmquist is up next. Well, here's your Riverdale batting order. It's Daniel Kaler, Matt Hardy, and Tyler Prell, your 3 men due up for Riverdale. Cleaning up, it's Hunter Tinsley. 5th, it's Colton Seitz. In the 6th spot, it's Tyler Yeager. Batting 7th, it's Tyler Gertman. 8th, it's Carson Palmquist, and batting last, it's Brendan McNabb. Gertman, well, here's a check over the second base by Ryan Schatzman, trying to psych out Colton Seitzer, taking a pretty nice lead off. Carson Palmquist is now the batter as he takes a swing and a miss. So far, here at the home half of the second, we have a base hit by Colton Seitz, a 1-3 put out on Tyler Yeager, and a fly out to the shortstop for Tyler Gertman. Palmquist trying to get some luck going here for the Raiders with 2 outs. And another one on the way. This bounces in the dirt. Neither team able to get on the board just yet here in this ball game, but that can change at any time. There have been multiple occasions for both teams where they've been able to get runners in scoring position and maybe break the scoreless tie. Here's a pitch that's low and away. Brendan McNabb now on the on-deck circle for the Raiders. Palmquist playing the first base bag today for Riverdale. There's a swing and a miss, and it's now a full count. When Palmquist is not playing first base, he is a starting pitcher for Riverdale. Here's his payoff. Hammered towards the backstop as it's fouled off. Gertman stands tall, and his next one on the way. It's a pop-up towards the left side. You have 2 men going towards it. The left fielder is going to call it off, and that left fielder makes the catch. We'll be right back right after this on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Third inning we go after this.
For the South Fort Myers Wolfpack, right fielder, number 12, Alberto Alvarez.
Alberto Olivares will be batting as we head to the top of the order as well as the top of the third. It's scoreless between Riverdale and South Fort Myers in baseball action at the varsity level. Olivares takes a very early swing and a miss. Well, we mentioned it earlier, but we will finally get to it for you. The Raiders, after tonight's game, will go on the road again as this is a pop-up to first base, and Carson Palmquist is going to snag up that ball for an F3 in the scorebooks.
Batting next for the Wolfpack, shortstop number 3, Jay Hughes.
Alberto Olivares, as a result of that pop-up, goes 1 for 2 on the night, and Jay Hughes is now stepping tall. He is swinging the bat around in some wide circles behind his head. And Hunter Tinsley on the way home, and that's outside. Well, after the result of tonight's meeting, Riverdale will hit the road for a 2-game road trip, which begins next Tuesday, March 15th, when they travel to Fort Myers to battle the Green Wave with a 7 p.m. start time. Here's a pitch right down the middle to tie up the count at 1-1. 1 out here at the top of the third. Still scoreless. Tinsley winds and fires with a pitch in the dirt. Following that game against Fort Myers, the Raiders will make their way to Clewiston to clash against the Tigers next Friday, which is March 18th. This one gets into the strike plate. Now 2-2 to Jay Hughes. The next home game for RHS will take place as this is a fly out to center field. Tyler Yeager is going to track it down, just taking about 2 steps in front of him, and puts that ball into the back of his glove, which is placed on his left hand.
Now batting for South Fort Myers, designated hitter number 25, Chase Ross.
That's an F8 in the scorebooks for Jay Hughes, and Chase Ross, the designated hitter, is up next. Well, the next home game for RHS will take place on Monday, March 21st, as the Ida Baker Bulldogs come to Pringle Field. All 3 games that I have just mentioned are slated to begin at 7 p.m. as this pitch gets in. That matchup against Ida Baker will be the first and final time that those two teams will meet in the regular season of 2016. So be sure to come out and catch your Raiders. As this is a bounce to the first, Carson Palmquist scoops it up, steps on first, and that is going to do it for the top of the third. Bottom half coming up after this. It's 0-0. More baseball after this.
For your Raiders, second baseman, number 6, Brendan McNabb.
Brendan McNabb now coming up as we are ready to go for your home half of the third inning, where it's 0-0 between Riverdale and South Fort Myers. Ryan Schatzman, the pitcher for South, winds and delivers home with a pitch off to the corners for a ball 1. Here's the 1-0 with another pitch wide. Well, it's actually been a back-and-forth contest. South Fort Myers this season, once again, they've had some huge struggles. They came into the ballgame with 1 win and 10 losses on the regular season schedule of 2016. Here's McNabb with 1 down low in the dirt. 3-0 is the count. Will he be walked? No, he won't. This pitch meets. 3-1. Hammered up the middle. Second baseman gloves it, throw to first. Gets him in time. Nice effort by Brendan McNabb, but he can't make it to first with a ground out over the second base.
Now batting for your Raiders, shortstop, number 15, Daniel Kaler.
Daniel Kaler is now up as we head to the top of your batting order. Opening pitch to Kaler. Tees it out to right field. And that's going to be gloved up with the greatest of ease by that right fielder Alberto Oliveras, slowly tracking it down as he moved forward and made the catch with one hand.
Left fielder number 9, Matt Hardy.
Up next on the list, it's Matt Hardy trying to keep this bottom of the third alive with 2 outs. So far, 2 up, 2 down for the Raiders. Hardy chops it to left field in the fly ball. Shortstop calls it off, makes the catch.
And 2-3 complete.
And the shortstop, Jay Hughes, is able to glove it up. And after 3 very quick innings, we head to your 4th. After this break, it's still scoreless from Pringle Field.
And first baseman, number 4, Jacob Balling.
Jacob Balling will start things off here at the top of the 4th as we are ready to go for another inning of baseball from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School. It's 0-0. First pitch is a fly out to right field. And just like that, there's your first out. Tyler Gertman able to track it down, moving towards shallow right field.
Batting next, left fielder number 7, Patrick Doyle.
So Patrick Doyle will try to make things a bit better here for South Fort Myers. The starting pitcher for Riverdale, Hunter Tinsley, is still on the mound, and he winds this towards the dirt, 1-0. We were talking about this previously towards the end of our break at the bottom half of the third, but we talked about some of the struggles that South Fort Myers had as Doyle takes one low and in, 1-1. Well, South Fort Myers, 1 win, 10 losses this season. They enter this ball game off of a 7-game losing streak, as this pitch barely sneaks into the edges, 1-2. Tinsley giving the signal to the catcher Tyler Prell, now steps off the mound. And here's his pitch, and he gets the strikeout going. Patrick Doyle is retired as a fastball blows him away.
Next batter for South Fort Myers, third baseman number 21, John Morrell.
John Morrell will now come up with 2 outs here at the top of the 4th. Neither team able to bring any runs across the plate at the moment. And Morrell ignores the first pitch, which is a strike. So far, a very quick-moving ball game. This one started at around 7:05 p.m. It's now 7:45, and we are in the 4th inning. Here's an early swing from Morrell, and he can't find the ball that time. 0-2 from Tinsley, and that's a strike. Got him. That time he was watching. Bottom of the 4th we go after this, and we're still scoreless.
For your Raiders, catcher, number 7, Tyler Prowl.
Tyler Prell, the catcher, will start the bats going for the Raiders here at the home half of your 4th inning. Neither team's on the board at the moment, but Prell hoping to start off some big things here for the Raiders. The first pitch from Schatzman hits the dirt. It's your 3, 4, and 5 spots leading off here for the Raiders. Here's your next one on the way to Prell. Hacks it out to right field, and that goes out of the ballpark. 1-1. Prell so far in the contest, he is 0 for 1 with a 5-3 putout. That occurred back in your first inning of play. Prell calls time, moves his way back in, and his next one is ready to go. That comes close for a ball. Great night for baseball. Fans with a little bit of chatter here around Pringle Field. Having a great time taking in an evening of baseball here on a Thursday night. The 2-1. Can't get in. There is some chance of Prell going around the Raider dugout trying to cheer him on, and this is a very close call, but it's a strike 2 to the edges. Payoff now on the way here for Tyler Prell. Quick wind up from Schatzman, and it's wide. Tyler Prell takes first after a long duel with Schatzman in the batter's box.
Next batter for your Raiders, pitcher number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
And the pitcher, Hunter Tinsley, now moves on in with a man on first and none out. Tinsley has had one heck of a night thus far. He's done a great job of just keeping those South Fort Myers runners off the bases as this has popped up towards the Raider fan section. Foul ball. He was off to a little bit of a shaky start back at the top half of the first when South Fort Myers had runners on second and third, but besides that, Tinsley's looked very calm and in control on the mound. He does a great job communicating with the catcher Tyler Prell on the signals. Overall, those two great experienced ball players. Tinsley is a senior this year. Prell is a sophomore. Here's the throw to first, and the base runner is picked off. Well, that's got to be disappointing there for the Raiders. They get a man on first and a leadoff runner, but they can't get anything going there. Looks like Tyler Prell had a courtesy runner in there. That might have been Joel Velez I saw coming back. It was number 3, I believe. This is a swing and a miss for Hunter Tinsley as he continues on with his at-bat.
It was 3, it was Azevedo.
So I was calling Azevedo actually over on first, who got picked off. Colin Azevedo. Not in the batting order in tonight's game, and here's a bouncer to the shortstop, and that is going to be a wild throw from the shortstop. And as a result, the Raiders have another runner on first. And it's Hunter Tinsley.
Batting next for your Raiders, third baseman, number 10, Colton Seitz.
So Colton Seitz is now entered the diamond. He's 1 for 1 on the day with a base hit out the center. Here's a throw over the first from Schatzman on the mound. And that time the runner is back in time, and that's number 5 over on first base. Smacked out through the left field. And that's a base hit. So yeah, number 5, which is Joel Velez, makes his way over to second base. And Tyler Yeager comes on with a man on second and one on first.
Your next Raider batter, center fielder, number 1, Tyler Yeager.
So Tyler Yeager now leaving the on-deck circle, and he's ready to go for his next at-bat. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a 1-3 put out back in your first. Oh, that one nearly hit somebody. Takes a small jump out of the way. So number 5, Joel Velez over on second. That surely is interesting. He missed the last game last Friday night in our ball game against Palmetto Ridge. He was injured with his left ankle, and they throw over the second, and now Velez is picked off. Just couldn't get back with a slide in time, and that really can kill the Raiders throughout the course of the ball game. 2 runners picked off here at the bottom of the 4th. So now the Raiders are left with only 1 runner on first. And Yeager has to deal with it as he chips it back over the safety netting. And that ball is not going to be put in the fair play. The throw home, high in the sky towards the Raider dugout. And that's going to land just over the Raider dugout. Colton Seitz, the runner over on first. Not taking a large lead off at all. Yeager steps out of the batter's box here as the pitcher Schatzman calls time, stepping off the mound. 0-0 is the score. Both teams are fighting hard in hopes that somebody can take the lead in what has been a very steady moving contest. It's the bottom of the 4th, and we do not have a score as of right now. Yeager fighting hard. His 1-2 pitch is going to be a strike, and he is out looking. So the Raiders have 2 runners picked off and a strikeout on Yeager. Through 4 complete, neither team can get runs on the board. More baseball after this. Miguel Sanchez is your starting batter for South Fort Myers now. And a fresh new inning of play. It's the 5th, and we have no score. Live from Pringle Field at Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. Sanchez steps into the box. Hunter Tinsley still on the mound. Kick and deliver, swing and a miss. That ball took a 1-hop towards the backstop there. I believe Sanchez just barely got that ball on the tip of his bat. Tinsley with another one on the way. And that's in. Last season, South Fort Myers struggled with their baseball program as the team finished the 2015 year with a 7-win, 17-loss record. The next pitch, swing and a miss, and Sanchez goes down on strikeouts with a late hack and a miss.
Batting next for the Wolfpack, second baseman number 10, Kenny DiVincente.
Kenny DiVincente. Now your next batter, second man due up here for South Fort Myers. He'll start off with another late swing and a miss. Well, at one point during the middle portion of the 2015 season schedule for South, the Wolfpack endured a 10-game losing streak. As of right now, they are in a 7-game losing streak at the moment. As this pitch is low and away. One of those games included a defeat last season to the Riverdale Raiders by a close 2-1 final score at Pringle Field. This sneaks its way in. Now 1-2 is the count to DiVincente with 1 out. This contest was a part of senior night for the Raider baseball team. I remember that night very well. Surely was a very lively night from what I recall, as this pitch is high and dry for DiVincente. South Fort Myers wrapped up the year in 5th place in their former division, Class 6A District 12, which included 7 schools last season. This goes straight to Brendan McNabb over at second base, closes in on it by moving forward, and seals the deal. And that's out number 2 here at the top of the 5th.
Right fielder number 32, Trent Sones.
Trent Sones now makes his way to the field, takes a pitch up for a ball. I remember that senior night ball game, and it was one of our biggest turnouts of the season. I would say overall our best turnouts in 2015 for the baseball team. It was senior night, as well as our district playoff contest against Fort Myers High School. This pitch is now barely in, 0-2, the Sones. Sones' 0-2 pitch is in. Wow, Tinsley just blew a 3-up, 3-down inning right by South Fort Myers. Home half on the way after this break.
Number 18, Tyler Gertman.
Tyler Gertman will lead off the bats for the Raiders here at the home half of inning number 5. Here's his first pitch from Ryan Schatzman, and it's a hack and a miss. We are here at the home half of the 5th inning, and both starting pitchers for these two teams are still on the mound. Tinsley and Schatzman, they are in a pitcher's duel at the moment. Check swing by Gertman. Home plate umpire says he held back, and that's a ball. Hunter Tinsley on the mound. He has just been phenomenal in this contest. At this point, he has 8 strikeouts on the mound. And here's his strike 2 coming on the way for Gertman. And before our break at the top of the 5th, we were discussing last year's senior night, which was also against South Fort Myers. This is hacked to the backstop. Well, just in case you were wondering, this year's senior night, it's coming up. Thursday, April 7th is senior night at Pringle Field for 2016. It's going to be against Cypress Lake at 7 p.m. right here at Pringle Field, as this pitch knocks its way into the ground. 2 balls and 2 strikes now is the count for Gertman, with a 0-0 score. The windup from the mound. Chipper over to the second baseman. Throwing the first, and there's your out, a 4-3 putout on Tyler Gertman. Up next, it's Carson Palmquist.
Next batter for your Raiders, first baseman, number 14, Carson Palmquist.
So up next, it's Carson Palmquist,
Carson, let's go, buddy. Let's get something started.
trying to fire up the Raider team. Both teams throughout the course of this ball game, they've just been having a rough time getting men on the bases. Hack and the miss with the pitch low. Senior night, it's always a fun night. Very interesting. Typically, it's the last home game of the regular season, which it is this year. Last year, that was not the case anyhow. But either way, it certainly was one heck of a good time as a pitch misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fans pack the seats, and prior to the game, we have a nice ceremony for all the seniors of the Riverdale ball players as it pitches right down the gut. 1-2 now to Palmquist. 1 out at the bottom of the 5th. 0-0 is on the scoreboard right now. Check swing by Palmquist. Barely is able to hold it back to keep his at-bat alive. The wind, whip, and fire, and that's going to be hacked towards the safety netting. But we have that ceremony prior to the senior night ball game, and back behind home plate, what we do at Riverdale is we spray paint the backstop, and it's the player numbers that are the seniors. So if there's a number 8, for instance, that's a senior on the Riverdale team, we would spray paint that number on the backstop, just right behind home plate. Really is a great way to honor the seniors, and then after the game, there are some nice festivities as well. As this is knocked out to right field for a base knock for Carson Palmquist. Brendan McNabb hoping to keep the party going for the Raiders.
Next batter for your Raiders, second baseman, number 6, Brendan McNabb.
So Brendan McNabb now up once again.
Let's get something going here.
1 on and 1 out for the Raiders. Well, after the senior night ball game, what they do is they set up some tables after the contest. They give some snacks out to the players and supporters as well that stay after for the celebration. Fans get to take pictures with the players, talk with them, congratulate them, whatever it may be. It's always a fun time. Wind, and this is going to be over the first base for a check on Carson Palmquist, diving with plenty of room to spare. So McNabb's first pitch is a strike 1. Another check over to Palmquist. And he's able to get back in time. Daniel Kaler is on deck for the Raiders. Here at the bottom of the 5th, neither team able to cash in on runs. It's a nice back and forth contest, very steady moving ball game. As Brendan McNabb takes one down the middle, that advances the count 0-2, an advantage of the pitcher Ryan Schatzman. Ryan whips it home, and McNabb finds connection but can't drive it fair.
Drive one here. Come on. You need to see an eyeball right here.
Here's Schatzman with another delivery.
There it is.
Hacks it through the left side, down the line. And it looks like the runners are going to be put on second and third. It's a double down the left field line for Brendan McNabb. And Carson Palmquist is able to stretch his way over to third, beating out the throw from the left fielder. So Daniel Kaler hoping to put Riverdale up on the board.
Shortstop, number 15, Daniel Kaler.
So Kaler up in a clutch situation, hoping that he can capitalize here. There was one time earlier back in the ball game when you had a runner on third, but the Raiders couldn't convert with 2 outs, and it looks like that'll be the case here. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. Oh, the bases are loaded. Yeah, gotta be kidding me. That shortstop there for South Fort Myers just made a mistake. It's Jay Hughes. He was pump faking all around, first, second, third. It gave more than enough chances for the runners to get back to their bags safe.
Next batter for your Raiders, left fielder, number 9, Matt Hardy.
So Hardy coming up, and this is the ultimate clutch situation. It is a tied ball game. There's 1 out. I may have said 2 outs earlier back in the bottom half of the 5th, and if that is true, I apologize for that. But the bags are juiced. And this is the best opportunity that Riverdale has had all game. Hardy takes one to the sides for a ball 1. Palmquist on third representing the go-ahead runner, and he hacks it high on the infield. Shortstop trying to track it down. Second baseman calls it up, and he bobbles the ball. Runners are going to have to go on the move here, though. Well, my goodness. The guys just need to calm down. A little bit of a confusing situation here.
Infield fly rule, batter's out.
Oh, so if it's a fly, then the...
Infield fly rule, batter is out, runners can advance at their own risk.
Oh, okay, so we got that ready to go. So it's an infield flyout rule for the Raiders. Well, it bounced right off the second baseman's glove.
Catcher number 7, Tyler Prowl!
So that second baseman, I'm sure he's feeling a little bit lucky after that.
Come on, buddy, come on, buddy.
So it's now 2 outs. Runners can advance at their own risk after a infield fly ball rule. But Tyler Prowl now comes up, and he's hoping to do the dirty work as he takes one for a strike. Prowl looking calm. He has to be feeling some nerves right now anyhow as this pitch. One hops the chest plate of the catcher for South Fort Myers. Miguel Sanchez is behind the plate as the catcher for South Fort Myers. So that last pitch was a ball. The 1-1 hacked out to right field. Will it get down? It's caught. My goodness, by the right fielder. It was Alberto Olivares saving this tied ball game for South Fort Myers. We are 0-0 at Pringle Field. Inning number 6 on the way. And this game is getting tense. We'll see how the 6th goes down after this.
6th inning for the South Fort Myers Wolfpack. Top of the order, right fielder, number 12, Alberto Olivares.
The 1, 2, 3 spots are due up for South Fort Myers here at the beginning of the 6th inning, and it all starts with Alberto Olivares as he takes a pitch outside. This game is scoreless here, and it's been tense all the way through. Up here in the press box, we were talking about it during the break, but South Fort Myers, they certainly are hanging tough for a team that is 1 win and 10 losses. Olivares watches a strike go by. Chopper up the middle. Hunter Tinsley leaps. Gets that ball into the glove hand. Throws to first. Underhanded over to Carson Palmquist guarding first. And there's your out. It's a 1-3 putout on Olivares.
Next batter for the Wolfpack, shortstop number 3, Jay Hughes.
It's Jay Hughes, the next batter for South Fort Myers. South Fort Myers, that 1 win that they came across earlier this season. We'll tell you about it in a moment. This is over the third base, and it's caught. Oh, well, it was caught cleanly there by the third baseman for out number 2. Over there on third base, it was Colton Seitz.
South Fort Myers, designated hitter number 25, Chase Ross.
Chase Ross now trying to keep the top half of the inning going, but a little bit of a scary moment there. Seitz looked like he was really just trying to track down that ball in the sky, and when he made connection with it, it barely got in the tip of the glove, but he's able to haul it down for the catch. And here's a strike 1 to your next batter, Chase Ross. Another swing and a miss here, 0-2. Well, that only win that South Fort Myers accomplished earlier this season, it was against Gateway Charter. South Fort Myers won that ball game 8-7, and a contest which lasted 8 innings. So it just went into 1 extra inning, but South Fort Myers was able to come away with the win. That game was back on February 16th. the deal home, and that's bounced to the backstop by Ross. South Fort Myers is currently stuck in 7th place out of the 8 schools in Class 7A District 12. The only team that they are on top of right now are the 1-8 Jaguars of East Lee County. Tinsley winds, rocks, and fires, and that's a looper over to the second baseman, Brendan McNabb. Throw to first where Carson Palmquist is standing, and through 5.5 innings, it's 0-0.
Raider 0.
We'll be right back with more Raider baseball right after this.
Pitcher number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley will be your first batter ready to go here at the bottom of the 6th inning, where we are tied scoreless between the Raiders of Riverdale High School and the Wolfpack of South Fort Myers. Hunter Tinsley, the pitcher, takes a pitch low at the knees. Tinsley tonight wearing the high socks, which he typically does when appearing in Raider baseball games, and he'll take a ball too low as well. Ryan Schatzman still on the mound. It's a pitcher-pitcher meeting right here as Tinsley is in the batter's box, and he'll take a strike far up. Well, I would like to give a shout out to the Riverdale varsity softball team as they are competing against South Fort Myers tonight on the softball fields of RHS. The softball complex here at Riverdale is located just over the left field wall of the baseball park as Tinsley knocks his pitch backwards, foul. Tinsley now calls time, stepping out of the left hand of the box. That softball game against RHS and South Fort Myers began at 7 p.m., which is the same time that tonight's baseball game got underway. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tinsley, and another one on the way. Swing and a miss. Tinsley goes down, swinging and missing. And that's out number 1 here at the home half of the 6th.
Now batting for your Raiders, third baseman, number 10, Colton Seitz.
So Colton Seitz now trying to keep things going here. He is 2 for 2 on the ball game. So what a night for him.
2 for 3.
Chipper up the middle to the shortstop. Throw to first, and it beats him out barely. That throw beat out Colton Seitz by just about a step. A great effort anyways, as the shortstop was able to just fire it home off the right hand. That was Jay Hughes making a nice move for that ball.
Center fielder, number 1, Tyler Yeager.
Tyler Yeager trying to get on board here for the Raiders to keep things going. We are now in your second to last inning of regulation as this pitch drops. Ball 1. Yeager knocks this high up towards the first baseman. He's going to try to track it down, and it bounces off the glove right in front of the Raider dugout. So that's a foul ball, and that's going to keep your 6th inning rolling here for the Raider Bats. This is Tyler Yeager up at the plate. In case if I just said Colton Seitz there. Colton Seitz just moments ago grounded out to the shortstop, but correction, right now it's Tyler Yeager at the plate. And right now he has a 2-ball, 1-strike count. 2 outs. Tyler Yeager, he's in a bind right now, and he connects it out to center field. Well, he got some nice connection behind it, but it's gloved up by the center fielder to retire the sides. That time it was Patrick Doyle. He was slowly backtracking towards the straightaway center field wall, but that keeps your game scoreless now in your 7th inning of play. More baseball to come right after this.
For Jacob Balling.
Jacob Balling will start off your 7th inning for South Fort Myers. 0-0 is the score now as we approach our final inning of regulation. And now if the Raiders have a chance to win this ball game, then it will be via a walk-off. Tinsley fires in a strike one to Balling. Balling tries to signal for a bunt. This one is a strike 2. He tried to lay down the bunt, got some connection off of it, but it one hopped its way to the backstop. The Raiders have been in one game this season where they were forced to extra innings. This pitch is inside, just barely. And that time the batter was just thrown off. Tinsley with a nice bullet on the inside corner. Jacob Balling goes down on strikes.
Number 7, left fielder Patrick Doyle.
Patrick Doyle follows up afterwards. Well, that one game that went to extra innings, that was just last Friday night here at Riverdale High School. Doyle meets the first pitch but tips it backwards, foul. That game was against Palmetto Ridge, a contest that lasted over 3 hours long, and it went to 9 total innings where the Riverdale Raiders fell to Palmetto Ridge by a 7-5 final score. Here's another out-of-control pitch for ball 1. It was just a high-scoring ball game back and forth, the complete opposite of this contest where we are still 0-0 on the scoreboard. This is a pitch that meets the strike plate. Strike 2. South Fort Myers, at the moment, they are desperate to pick up a win, currently on a 7-game losing streak, as this is going to be sparked into the safety netting to the backstop. Patrick Doyle getting a nice connection with the pitches of Hunter Tinsley, but just can't put anything fair just yet. Some warm-up action is going on in the Raider bullpen down the first base side as Tinsley rocks and fires, swing and a miss. Patrick Doyle fights and fights, but he comes up with a swinging strikeout in the end. A little bit of a stoppage here.
Third baseman, number 21, John Morrell.
And John Morrell patiently waits in front of the the dugouts of South Fort Myers. As the South Fort Myers manager, Nathan Ojibwe, hands him a ball, and they're going to put that one into play in this baseball contest. John Morrell takes opportunity to swing, but he's not going to meet the ball. 0-1. Another one on the way with 2 outs here at the top of the 7th. Another swing and a miss. South Fort Myers all night long, they've been swinging for the fences, but just haven't had the best of luck. Tinsley hoping to finish off 6.5 innings. Can he do it here? Not just yet. Foul. Straight directly backwards towards us in the press box. So there was some warming up in the Raider bullpen down the right field line, but I feel like Tinsley, he still can do some great work on the mound. This is a chipper, and that gets past a diving Brendan McNabb over at second. Tyler Yeager travels to right center field to scoop up the ball, and now South Fort Myers has a go-ahead run on first base with 2 outs.
Next batter for South Fort Myers, catcher number 13, Miguel Sanchez.
Miguel Sanchez now hoping to keep the top of the 7th going here for the Wolfpack. 0-0. Final regulation inning. It doesn't get more tight than this. Tinsley puts one right down the heart of the strike plate. This reminds me of that ball game we had earlier in the season against Port Charlotte back on February 22nd. It was a rare game that was held on a Monday here at Riverdale High School. And here's another one that's a strike up in the corners. Well, the Raiders ended up winning that ball game in regulation by a 1-0 final score. Tyler Yeager was the go-ahead run for the Raiders. That run took place at the bottom half of the third. That was Tyler Yeager's first game back after suffering a hamstring injury. And what a way to come back, giving your team the win like that. Strike right down the middle, and that's going to blow past the runner, or the batter rather, Miguel Sanchez.
Scoreless.
We are scoreless once again. Bottom of the seventh after this break.
Right fielder, number 18, Tyler Gertman.
It's Tyler Gertman, the leadoff batter for the Raiders at the bottom of the seventh, as he chips his first pitch foul in front of the Raider dugout. That's going to be recollected off the hop by Carson Palmquist, who's currently on the on-deck circle for the Raiders, but it's the bottom of the seventh. 0-0 is your score, and the Raiders, if they want to win this ball game, they're going to have to do it in walk-off fashion. Gertman chips one in front of the South Fort Myers dugout. Schatzman still on the mound for South Fort Myers, and he has been ever since inning one. Most likely, Tinsley's going to stay in the ball game as the pitcher for the Raiders as well. Both guys have done phenomenal in this baseball game. Here's a pitch low and outside. The 1-2, and that's going to be another one outside. The next pitch going to Gertman. Schatzman winds and deals, firing off the right hand. Chipper over the third. He bobbles the ball a bit. Regained. No, it's a wild throw. The first baseman, it went right off his glove. And just like that, it is a lucky hit for Gertman. Carson Palmquist now up next, and Riverdale manager Bobby Pringle is going to come up and give him a message. It may be to lay down the bunt possibly with a runner on first. It seems like the wise thing to do, especially with no outs.
Batting next for your Raiders, first baseman, number 14, Carson Palmquist.
And not to mention, you're in a late game situation like this where you have the potential to take the lead. Chips up the gut. Pitcher scoops up, throws the first for the out. But the good news is that Gertman's able to get on second, and that was the main goal of it all. So Palmquist does his job extending Gertman to second, and the Raiders have a runner, in scoring territory.
Pitch inning for
With
the Raiders.
one out.
Now coming to bat, number 8, Matisse Bober.
Matisse Bober now making his way up to the plate as a pinch hitter. Well, one hit to the outfield is all it takes to end this ball game for Riverdale, if that's some motivation. He watches a ball one go by. That third baseman, John Morrell for South Fort Myers, he's slowly creeping in towards Bober after every single pitch. In case if his at-bat ends up in a ground ball towards third base, or maybe even a bunt, but right now I'm sure that's not on Coach Pringle's agenda, or Bober's either. With a close pitch inside, the 1-1 is on the way from Schatzman. Knocked up the middle. Here's the pitcher. Spins, throws the first. He applies the tag. Runner sneaks over the third. Yeah, so Matisse Bober, he's tagged out by the first baseman there. It's a 1-3 put out, but Gertman sneaks over the third, and the winning runner for the Raiders is 90 feet away.
Number 15, Daniel Kaler!
And I honestly think Daniel Kaler is one to do it. He is one to end this ball game. All it takes is a base knock, and this ball game is over here at the bottom of the 7th. Let's see if he can do it. His opening pitch, low at the knees. I'm very excited. I'm hoping Kaler can pull this off, not just because it would mean a Raider win, but me personally, I have never called a walk-off before, so it certainly would be fun to call one for a change. Joel Velez is actually on the on-deck circle right now, as this is tipped backwards foul, 1-1. Joel Velez, once again, he had a left ankle injury in last Friday night's ball game. He was listed with a 2 to 4 week injury, but right now he's in the batter's box, so
Wow.
that's good news.
That's very good news.
The next one to Kaler. Hacker over to the second base. Throw to first. He gave it all he could, but the out was made with a 4-3 put out. Kaler can't give the Raiders a win. We head to extra innings with no score. 8th inning we go after this break.
10, Kenny DiVincente.
Kenny DiVincente will start the bats for South Fort Myers here at the beginning of inning number 8. It is your first extra inning of this ball game. Now past regulation, and we are scoreless between Riverdale and South Fort Myers in varsity baseball action. DiVincente takes a straight close and low. The 0-1 from Hunter Tinsley, hacked over to the shortstop. Throw the first from Daniel Kaler, and it was off the bag. He was just offsides there, but Carson Palmquist could not maintain his leverage over on the bag, and it's a leadoff hit for South Fort Myers as DiVincente digs on the first.
Batting next for the Wolfpack, number 32, Trent Soames.
Trent Soames will now hope to get some momentum going here for South Fort Myers. Fans sticking around, being treated to some extra baseball. Oh, that one gets loose of Tyler Prell's glove. And very luckily, DiVincente, he had some conflicting thoughts there. He took off to second, held back, took off again, and decided it was his best to stay over on the first base bag to avoid being thrown out. But that one headed to the backstop, and Prell
Breathe, Tyler. You're okay.
used some full speed to maintain that ball. Look at this, he was trying to lay down the bunt there, Trent Soames, but this one goes by him for a ball. 2-0 is now your count. Prell is going to try to throw over the first to keep DiVincente close, and he'll be back without the dive. Tinsley still on the mound. He's been your pitcher ever since inning 1, and that really is impressive. He certainly is one heck of an arm. Puts one inside to make the count 2-1 to Soames. 11 Ks in the ball game for Tinsley on the mound. I haven't seen him play on the road this season, but when it comes to home games here at Riverdale High School, this probably has to be one of his best appearances on the mound all season long. It certainly has been great to watch him pitch tonight. This is foul down first. Soames trying to extend DiVincente over to second. It won't work out for at least this pitch. Well, this has turned out to be one heck of a defensive ball game. I love high-scoring baseball games more than the next guy, but every once in a while you just need to sit back and watch a game with some great defense in the game of baseball. Both teams have really played their hearts out in this bout. Here's a check over the first base where DiVincente is standing. Not taking large of a lead off at all, he just slides back on the bag, and Palmquist cannot apply the tag in time. So Soames now back in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the next one on the way, and that's hacked backwards foul. No outs at the top of inning number 8 and a scoreless tie. Overall, this has been a speedy ball game all the way throughout. Started at 7 p.m. It's now 8:41, not even 2 hours into your contest, and we're already in extra innings. Here's a swing and a miss from Trent Sones for out number 1, and DiVincente is stuck back over on first. We head to the top of the order with Alberto Olivares.
Wolfpack, top of the order, number 12, Alberto Olivares.
So 1 on and 1 out here for Olivares. The wind home from Tinsley. Swing and a miss. He is 0 for 3 today, Alberto Olivares. 1 for 3, excuse me.
Yeah, 1 for 3.
He started off the ball game with a single. Back at the top of the first. Next one on the way off. 0-2. That one was a sliding into dirt. Prell actually had to move over to his right a bit to keep that one from hanging to the backstop, yet Olivares took a hack and a miss. He immediately regretted it right after, you could see. Throw over the first on DiVincente. Palmquist had a chance there, but the first base umpire says he's back in time. Next one misses. Well, this is a tight district matchup here between Riverdale and South Fort Myers. In just a quick moment, we'll tell you about how the standings are going in 7A District 12. Tinsley fires. Bouncer over to second. Throw to the shortstop for 1. First for 2. Did it get him? He's out. So we will hold that thought about the standings as we make your way to the bottom of the 8th. That went from the second baseman to the shortstop to first base, and we are still at a 0-0 score. Home half of inning number 8. After this,
Joel Velez.
new pitcher on the mound for South Fort Myers. It's number 3, Jay Hughes, who previously played the shortstop in this contest. He is replacing number 20, Ryan Schatzman, who has been the pitcher ever since the start of this ball game for the Wolfpack. Here's the first pitch from Jay Hughes, and the plants right into dirt to the leadoff man, Joel Velez, in this first at-bat of the contest. And once again, we mentioned how great of a recovery he's had ever since last Friday night's ankle injury off to his left ankle. We'll tell you again for those who may have missed it. Velez swings and misses. 1-1 is your count. The next one is up and away. 2-1. Well, Joel Velez originally looks like he sprained his ankle. I thought it was. He just rolled it. He was playing out in right field. He was trying to track down the ball. A fly ball out in foul territory, and he rolled his ankle trying to pursue it. He was helped off the field. He was originally listed with a 2 to 4 week injury, but here he is back already, not even a week after the injury. 6 days ago is when it occurred. Now 2-ball, 2-strike count as Velez hacks and misses, plants this one towards the pitcher, and he's going to underhand it to the first baseman, Jacob Balling, for out number 1. Tyler Prell is next on the order.
For your Raiders, number 7, Tyler Prell.
So we are at the bottom of the 8th inning, 1 out, and a 0-0 score between Riverdale and South Fort Myers. It has been one heck of a defensive game, no doubt about it. Check swing, he holds back, ball 1. Well, let's tell you about Class 7A District 12 while we have the opportunity here. It's led by the 8-2 Naples Golden Eagles. Prell now calls timeout. And the number 2 spot, it's the 8-4 Gulf Coast Sharks. The Estero Wildcats are third, 6-4 this season. This is chipped down third base by Prell Fowl. Also 6-4 are the Palmetto Ridge Bears, who are in 4th place at the moment. And the 5 spot, it's the Lehigh Lightning, who are 4-7. 6, it's the 3-8 Riverdale Raiders. Prell takes a strike 2. 7th, it's the South Fort Myers Wolfpack, who are 1 win, 10 losses on the year, currently on a 7-game losing streak coming into this contest. And 8th, and the last team in Class 7A District 12, it's the 1 win, 8 loss East Lee County Jaguars. Prell smokes this out of the ballpark down right field. Currently with a 1-ball, 2-strike count and 1 out. The next one on the way from Jay Hughes is a swing and a miss, and he has a hot start on the mound with another strikeout.
Batting for your Raiders, number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley now at the plate. Hughes started off his first inning of pitching. Well, he takes a strike 1 here to Hunter Tinsley right down the middle. It started off with Joel Velez, who went down off of a 1-3 putout. And then, just moments ago, a strikeout to Tyler Prell, a swing and a miss. Now 1 ball and 1 strike here to Tinsley. Tries to call a timeout, but around that time, Jay Hughes was already in his windup. He fires the pitch off of his right hand, and that gets in. Hughes tries to end it, and he does. It goes by Tinsley. He is upset. Doesn't agree with the call, but either way, we are heading to the 9th inning with a 0-0 score.